So there is no cut. Alright.
真俾姚文咪得啦，你我啦，真俾佢，你打電話話唔
This
得
new
就俾佢
HCA5 is basically authorized all public universities in California to select students based on their race. So give certain race preferential treatment. And that, if you call it a equality, I don't know what kind of equality there is. What's the definition of equality? Because that's really give you discriminate one race, against another.
Sure.
And especially for Asians, like when I first heard of this, I was so furious that I said, this is basically destroyed generations' hope of Asian families. This is just for, maybe I'm too,
Sure.
I cannot even
Take your
say.
time, take your time.
Yeah,
No problem. Yeah.
like for
My audience will understand. They are in the same frustration as we are, right? Never mind.
But
Go
I
ahead.
have a 4-year-old, he's almost 5. And I'm afraid that in the future he will ask me why I cannot get into those schools. And
Because of the bill.
Exactly. The only thing I can tell him is that, I'm sorry,
Because of the stupid bill,
you're
yeah.
Asian, you're Chinese, and you work too hard. That's the reward you're
And you know what
going
you
to
can
get.
say to him or her? Say, I'm sorry because you and mom and my dad can give you just this skin and color. That's it.
And we cannot change it.
We cannot change.
That's it. We cannot.
You're irrevocable.
Yeah.
Like your IC, like your LC. You're irrevocable. You're irrevocably wrong, right?
And that's why as a parent, and we did a lot of things in our community, especially in our local Chinese school. And we have all those flyers to raise awareness of this bill and tell all the parents that what we should do to voice opinion and to protect our kids.
Oh yeah, does say skin color, right?
Yeah, this one is the recent flyer we made, and to invite everybody who share our opinion to meet the assembly member at on Friday.
Not only him, you can call any of the assembly members that's supposed to represent you, quote unquote, right? So let them know how you can represent me, right? By voting no, right? So, okay, what's your overall impression about the bill, please, Mr.
I think my friend said it very well. This situation reminds me of a song, a Chinese song, written by a very famous Chinese songwriter and singer, What Are You? The lyrics of the song is like this. The children of Satan weeping in the wind. No one wants to play with you in a fair game. All your favorite toys are being taken away. But my dear baby, there's nothing I can say. Why I think this is a perfect illustration of this situation? Because we are not in a fair game. Right? Didn't those senators who voted for this bill know what this really means to Asian Americans? Of course they know. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure this out.
Of course.
Right? And do they care for fairness of this bill? I don't think they do. There's one thing I do think they care. The vote. In this case, we are the minority. They are the majority. They think they have no vote. And to make the case even worse, 3 senators who are supposed to be representing us voted for the bill. And I don't want to name the names here, but we know who they are. We know, and we will not forget.
It's okay. Well, name is known everywhere. It's Leland E. It's Ted Lieu. It's Carol Liu. Yeah, they're well known. It's a public politics. There's no secrecy.
Look at their Facebook. Some of them even delete most of the negative comments. I don't know if she thinks there's nothing wrong. Why he wants to delete all of those negative comments? That's kind of weird to me too.
And also they even deny that
They
there is
deny
an
that,
impact to Asian
Before the
Americans.
election, they deny it, they argue, they fight against their race, exactly.
If they want to delete, I would give them a better suggestion. Just close their Facebook account. That's an even better way to do it.
Right?
That's right.
They should,
Let's argue, right? Let's argue a little bit. They say, somebody say, this bill does not present any discrimination. Okay. How can that be true?
Okay, let me give you some numbers, and you're going to know them. For Asian America, from the demographic point of view, we represent 15% of the total population income. If you look at the UC system and the admission ratio, rate for Asian America is about 36%. And that's exactly the number.
And by the way, for some schools, the number goes to as high as 41.
Exactly. But there's nothing wrong about those diligent, working hard Asian students. And I will just give you a simple example for myself. I was, at that time, a PhD student in computer science department at the Carnegie Mellon University in Pittsburgh. And a lot of people say I'm lucky. I don't think so. I think maybe being lucky is just one single, simple factor. I'm working so hard. I want to ask every single one, how many people, and they know what Pittsburgh looks like at 2 o'clock a.m. in the morning. And that's exactly the time I just left my lab. And I call the police, or sometime I just get into my 1992 Volkswagen Jetta with no air conditioning and with no heat and driving below 32 Fahrenheit. And that's the time I went back home. And again, 4 hours later, only 6:30 a.m. and I got up again. And not so many people, they enjoy the sunrise in Pittsburgh. I did.
That's exactly how the number 36 and the 41 are made.
Exactly. That's the differential. That's the differential.
It's not your skin, right? It's not skin
Exactly.
nature.
It's not because my
That's your
car
skin nature. That's not your skin nature. And your story. You made it the same way or by sleeping all night long?
I work all the way.
Yeah? And your story. And my story. I started to live with about 100 hamburger a day. I cut in the middle like this. One for lunch, one for dinner.
Yeah.
Right? That's all I have. That's not my skin. I work hard.
Right.
Exactly.
That's it, right?
Yeah, the value keep teaching us is that, you do your best, be a decent, honest person, hard work will pay off one day. But if this bill passed, what my kid will say? What can I say to my kid? Right?
Oh yeah, of course. You waste your time.
Exactly.
You waste your time.
Exactly. Working hard is not good enough. Being outstanding student is not good enough.
Yeah.
All that matters is that you need to have the right skin color. So besides racial discrimination, I really don't know another way to call this bill.
There's another point. By logic, I would say, I try to be doctor. I try to play doctor, okay? With that stethoscope, I try to diagnose what's wrong with those guys, right? The thing could be wrong. The only thing could be wrong is that they do not know education at all. Let alone, from the bottom of their hearts, from the bottom of their mind, there's this little devil called discrimination, keep pumping up all the time, right? Now, the fact I say they do not know education at all is that anything below high school level is called popular education.
Exactly. We call K-12.
All right? And anything above is elite.
Exactly.
Right?
Especially in those UC systems, they're very selective schools.
All right. All right.
With high academic
Yeah. And
competitiveness.
our schools too, right? So let's take a short moment out. When we come back, we point out to those guys, those people, those lovely people who we happen to call representative of us, how they confuse themselves by the cutting line of education. Let's take a short moment out.